Okay, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Shack episode 7. Glad to have you all with us. My name is Brandon Talley. I'm obviously here with Dennis Tui. Dennis, how you doing?
I'm doing well. No complaints. Recovering from my gallbladder surgery, you know that.
Right.
So just home, grinding some Law and Order tape, reading some comic books,
There you
hanging
go.
out, playing my Pokemon game,
I was gonna say, don't forget about that.
and yeah, dude, just kind of living life. Not ready to go back to work yet. Definitely not. We're getting there, but
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
I'll get there. Hopefully. So yeah, and watching sports. I have so much time. I have nothing but free time, Brandon. Nothing but free time to watch sports. I watched college football yesterday. You know, I'm not really a college football guy. Happy my Notre Dame Fighting Irish won.
Yeah. Don't know
With a
what you
name
think.
like Dennis Tui, can you be surprised that I root for the Fighting Irish? No, of course not. And, watch my Devils lose in overtime to the Rangers yesterday, which killed me. Absolutely killed me. I know we
Yeah.
don't talk much betting here, but I had like a $1 to win like $150 parlay in hockey yesterday. Didn't it?
$1? That's crazy.
Didn't hit. Didn't hit. Might as well to light it on fire. Oh
Hmm.
well.
Well, what are you gonna do?
My Notre Dame did hit though. I won $10. So
There you go. All right, you got that dollar back.
got that dollar back and
Got
then
that dollar
some.
back. I know. I was trying to see if I could watch the Islanders last night. I know they were playing Vegas Knights. They won 4-0. And I don't know who anybody that doesn't live in New York who has Optimum. We've been having issues with MSG. I don't know if that got settled already, but anytime I tune into MSG or Optimum, they still get the message. Let me see if I can do that. Let me see. No, seven. Nope. No. Hold on.
Yeah, explain this to me because my dad was kind of explaining it to me, but we don't have Optimum. So be our man on the street here. What's going on with this whole Optimum thing?
Yeah. So obviously, it's just tune into MSG channel 71 Optimum for those who have Optimum.
So
It's
for those
Metro.
who are not from New York, MSG is home of the Islanders, Devils, Knicks,
And Rain,
Rangers.
and I believe
That's
Liberty.
no,
Yes,
the Yes Network has the
yes, Network
Liberty.
does that. Okay.
So that's where everybody gets their New York sports, mostly, right? Especially this time of year. They have a near monopoly on it, right? Because Yes Network has the Brooklyn Nets, but still, 4 out of 5, that ain't bad. So
Right.
for people who have Optimum, apparently, this is the part I need to know. Apparently, one of the cable providers in New York, Optimum, got rid of it for whatever reason. But doesn't Dolan own both? Or am I speaking out of turn here? I don't know.
He only owns
Talk to
cable,
me.
and I guess MSG is probably separate. That's what I'm guessing. Um, so that they're just locked. They're locked on a deal. They haven't been able to come up with a deal for a long time now, and so that's what happens. That's the point of business. But what are you gonna do? So I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't forget when I think Fox had the same issue back in 2010. So I remember I was worried I wasn't gonna be able to watch one of the Jet games that year in 2010. But yet I didn't. Obviously I didn't watch it because I was playing. I was playing football, so I wasn't gonna watch it either way. I watched every game that year, but that's another story. So I don't know. That's what happens. Everything's a business. So whether this gets worked out or not, I'm not sure. But I should do some investigating for porting. I should. We'll just stand outside Optimum.
Yeah, be like the Costco hot dog guy. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Go on strike.
Because my thing is like, I don't know, because they always advertise that Gotham Sports app. If
Right.
you can watch it through there, but because your cable provider doesn't have the channel
Uh
anymore, I don't know how that would work.
I
Because
didn't
I have
try.
Verizon, so again, I can't figure this out.
You know what? I'll get back to you on that. I'll try it out later. Let me see if there's any. I don't know if there's any games on tonight. Let me see. Yeah, the Knicks. Yeah, the Knicks play again tonight against the Thunder. That's going to be a good matchup
Well,
because
that's gonna be a great
that
game, and I'm
was.
gonna be watching it.
I know they beat Thunder beat the Knicks a couple days ago because that was a huge matchup. The Thunder, who are really good this year,
Very
and
good.
so the Knicks, and the Knicks. They thought the Knicks would have a good shot, but they lost to Thunder. They've been playing some games without Karl Anthony Towns. I know they beat the Raptors the other night, but but so that was That was something though, but good for the Thunder. But either way, I'll tune in tonight. Supposedly that game's on NBA TV, so I don't know if that correlates to an MSG. It might be different. Let me see. Do the
Dude, let me
Rangers?
know how that goes because if it knocks you out there, then I'm confused because why would it be blacked out if you don't have the channel?
There's no games on tonight that MSG would play, so I can't say tonight. But like I said, whenever I have the opportunity, I will let you know, and obviously I'll try to update the Sports Shack faithful as well.
Thank you.
But yeah, no. So that's what's going on for the MSG and Optimum saga. So we'll see what goes on for that. But yeah, no. So it's just definitely been a lot going on in the sports world. The NFL season finally ended, so great. I don't have to watch the Jets anymore, thank God. Um, I've never been more happy for an off season. Now I'm definitely going to put all my energy into baseball. I'm ready for pitchers and catchers. Obviously, we got hockey and we got basketball. You know, the Islanders they're on and off. The Knicks have been obviously really good, so obviously we got them. Shout out to Notre Dame fighting Irish, so good for that. Good for them. And yeah, so that's what's up. That's what's up. And yeah, so what about you? What are your thoughts in the sports world right now?
Go Fighting Irish. By the way, listen, I feel bad for the young man, Drew Aller. Basically a game losing pick.
Right.
Sucks. Attaboy to my boy Jeets. You got to kick the field goal, brother. Got
Yeah.
to kick the field goal. People forget that. So, attaboy Jeets. And going into it, all the bad omens, all the bad jujubes. Like Jeter struggled earlier this season, gigging. Notre Dame has the lowest amount of field goals. You know, like all the stuff that the talking heads are talking about. And it shows on the bottom Chiron, college football playoffs, 0 for 4 since the format started and go ahead kicks. Like, oh man, this is a bad break. And I was getting nervous. I was like, oh, I think this kid's gonna miss it. Nope, nailed it.
Nailed it.
And yeah, so good job by him. One thing I will say, ball don't lie, Brandon. Ball don't lie. That pick that was overturned was clean. I don't care what Sean, everybody was saying in our group chat. I'm right. I'm right. I don't care about this stupid ref shill. That's enough. Can we get rid of that in sports? Get rid of the ref shill. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. All right. They always back the zebras. It doesn't matter what sport, it doesn't matter what level. Get rid of them. They're always, I mean, my God, get
Yeah.
rid of them. I'm over it. When are they ever going to say, like, you know what? Horrible call. Disagree. Never. That was a bad call yesterday. We have to stop. And this isn't about Drew Aller. It's just, he's the latest one. We have to stop bailing out quarterbacks who are making bad or dumb plays. We have to stop. Brandon, it was triple covered and underthrown.
Yeah.
Brandon. I mean, Mr. Fantastic couldn't grab it. It had no play on, and there's no way that he would have grabbed it.
Yeah.
It had no effect on the play at all. Not a penalty. Stop bailing these quarterbacks out, dude. Enough. I'm waiting for the day that a quarterback jersey getting yanked down, sacked, and somebody pushes a guy, and they're like, "Oh, pass interference." Like enough. Come on.
Enough.
Again, the Costco guy. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. That's me. Stop bailing out these quarterbacks. I mean, we've handcuffed defensemen so much in football to the point where the position is nearly unrecognizable to how it was 10, 15 years ago, especially 30 years. And it's, enough. I'm over it. And so are most fans. I mean, it was a clean interception. And you see it all the time. And I'm not trying to beat up on this kid. All right. This kid, he's probably feeling horrible today.
Right.
It happens in the NFL all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. That a play there's no way that guy's catching the ball. And Mahomes is a big merchant of it. 15 yards over a guy. It's like, oh, pass interference. You know, I just come on already. You know who watches a sport and says, I want to sit down, I want to watch a sport. You know what? We need more penalties in the game. Nobody. Unless, of course, it's something egregious. You know, like old open ice hits in hockey, taking guys' heads off, you know? Something
Right.
like that, fine. People want legislation for. Reviewing pass interference, fine. People want legislation for. But something like that, enough. Come on. We don't want to. I want to watch. I don't want to watch. A dirty laundry game. I want to watch. Uh, the actual sport. Stop throwing the flags out. Enough.
Yeah, no, it's definitely was a great game last night. I think it was
It was a fun
interesting.
game. It's a fun game to
It was
watch.
definitely a fun game. I think it was interesting seeing Drew Allen didn't throw anything to the receivers. They had no receiving yards, no receptions, and definitely no receiving touchdowns. So everything I think was just to the running backs, to tight ends, maybe even the offensive linemen. um, but no, I don't think Drew Allen should get a lot of heat, or James Franklin. I think for how this season transpired, for how the game transpired, it was a great game. And I think shout out to Penn State for getting as far as they did in the new college football playoff format, which we will get into a little bit. I think Penn State, to say Penn State, I remember Sean in our chat, our buddy Sean was telling about how James Franklin and should be fired after this game. Drew Aller and James Franklin choked. Like, hey, come on. We really gonna come on. This is the first Penn State's got this far to a championship probably in a long time, especially in the new format, taking advantage of that. So I think, and a lot of people saying that Drew Aller, I don't think this ruined his stock because people think that he should come out of the draft because there's not a lot of prospects, which says a lot about him. Depends where he would go if he would come into the draft, if he would declare this year, because a lot of people aren't high on the quarterbacks this draft. So to me, that says a lot about him as a prospect, from the scouts, knowing that they want him to come out now instead of next year because he's staying another year. So hopefully Penn State can rebound and come back stronger next year. They're going to lose some key players. They're going to lose Abdul Carter to the draft. Obviously Drew Aller. Actually, no, Drew Aller's staying. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But kudos to Penn State. Shout out to Notre Dame, my Fighting Irish. That's my college football team. It used to be Alabama, but before the season, I said I was like, I'm gonna root for the Notre Dame.
You did.
I guess it
You
was after
did.
I met Rudy. I loved Rudy. I've watched Rudy all my life. The movie. So meeting him was great, and then obviously seeing the team that they were putting together with Riley Leonard, a quarterback, and Jeremiah Love, but a great quarterback. Um, Poor Riley Leonard because I remember never forget the time his professor didn't raise his grade. But no, I just think just shout out to them and obviously shout out to Marcus Freeman being the first black and Asian head coach, I believe, to make it to the championship.
Well, good for him.
Good for him. So I'm excited to see Notre Dame make it through, and this is the first time they've made it since 2000 and 2013, and it's crazy they're doing all this with Brian Kelly left. So he left to go to LSU after the 2021 and 22 season.
Yeah. And by the way, as somebody who's starting grad school to be a teacher, I'm on that professor's side with the whole Riley thing. He said the offensive line had it done.
It's
Listen,
true. It's true.
I mean, all for one and one for all. But yeah, man, it was a fun watch. I do have to say I was not impressed with Riley Leonard at all. I know their offensive line were a lot of backups. I was just about to give them credit for that, for getting the win with all those backups. Now you have some extra time. The guys in the game were dropping like flies. So, hopefully you have some time to recover a bit. But one thing I do have to say, how many snaps were bobbled? Like 4 or 5, man. Maybe even more. At a shotgun. Now, I don't know, again, if I missed it because I was flipping between them and the Devils. If I missed if it was a backup center, but they kept talking about backup linemen, but nobody was saying anything about the center. So again, I could miss it. For those of you who don't know, we're not exactly you know, what college game day here. We're not.
We're not going to come up with the
We're
mascot
not.
hat,
We're
mascot
not.
hats
All
and
right.
yeah.
Uh, we're baseball, basketball, football, hockey, loosely on the hockey and basketball. But yeah. So I don't know if I just missed it, but I mean, it was like Brandon, it was like almost every single shotgun. It seemed like he bobbled it. I, I don't know. I don't know. Everybody was kind of talking about him going into this game. I don't know. My new standard for quarterback, do I think you're better than Daniel Jones? No. That's my standard.
Wow, that's crazy. That's some standard you got there, Dennis.
Is it like an NFL prospect? It's not better than Daniel Jones was coming out of Duke.
It's true.
You know, like that's just kind of my standard. So I don't know if he's going to take the jump into the NFL or not. Hopefully, I'm just being a jerk and he proves me wrong and Notre Dame wins. But I got to say, the few times I watched college football this year, first of all, the most impressive college football player I've ever seen, John Marshall from Navy a couple of years ago. I don't know what that kid's doing, where he's up to now. My God, he put the fear of God in FSU. I will never forget watching that game. I was home with COVID, I think, at the time, or whatever the case was. I was home. I was watching the game, and that kid, he was on defense. He was a middle linebacker, and he was like Ray Lewis. It was
Right.
unbelievable what he did to them. So I haven't seen anybody except that kid that played yesterday. Wasn't Abdul Carter?
Abdul Carter.
I would say he's like a diet John Marshall. He's a
Wow, John.
diet John Marshall.
Taking it back to the purple people eaters, if I'm correct. That John
No,
Marshall.
I'm just saying. No, John Marshall played like a year or two ago.
Oh, okay, my apologies.
No, I'm just saying that this kid, that Abdul Carter, he was fantastic yesterday on defense. Fantastic. Not the best I've ever seen, but fantastic. And that tight end that Penn State had too.
Tyler Warren.
Yeah. Big guy. Big guy. He wore 44. That was my lacrosse number.
He's supposed to be a huge prospect coming out of, I guess like I don't know if he was supposed to be like a Brock Bowers type player, but he's supposed to be a huge high draft pick.
They're comparing him a lot to George Kittle on the broadcast.
That's a pretty good comparison. So we'll see how
hopefully he
that.
can stay healthier than George Kittle.
It's tight ends are on the rise. It's new, position. It's becoming more popular as the seasons go by, especially coming out of the draft. It depends what kind of prospect you guys want. Depends who they want to take. So definitely a great game. Definitely excited for tonight's game. That should be fun. Texas versus Ohio State. I got Ohio State. I think it's going to be Ohio State versus Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know. The Texas, I know when they played against Iowa State, I believe, and that's when they had the running back Cam's Skadebo.
Oh, yeah. Scatterboo.
Who, if I'm an NFL GM, I'd want him on my roster ASAP.
What a name. That's selling jerseys. That's selling jerseys and T-shirts, brother. He was on Arizona Sun Devils.
Right.
I actually think
right.
I think
Not
I have family
Iowa State.
friends have season tickets.
My apologies to the viewers out there. It was Iowa State. No, it was
Arizona State. You got it.
State.
You got it.
Sorry.
Hey,
My
listen.
apologies.
There's a lot of vowels in both. All right, I'll give you a pass. Can I buy a vowel?
But if I'm an NFL, a team I could see him going to, I could see him playing on the Chiefs.
Scatterboo.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Pairing with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and obviously they still got D-Hop. I don't know if he's staying on the team the rest of the year. I don't see why not. They need a running back. They got Isaiah Pacheco, but he's still coming off injury. So I don't know if they want to give him too much light work. I don't know how it's going to be with that. So maybe not the Chiefs, but you never know. I think that'd be a great pair. Pacheco and Scatterboo.
Maybe he goes to the Vikings.
Pair him with Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, he's no spring chicken anymore.
That's true. So hey, I see him going to the Vikings. He's definitely going to be a high prospect though. So any team that gets him,
yeah,
But
And I said,
dating back but even Texas, that was a big game back and forth. That's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna get blown out by Ohio State, but I think it's gonna be a good game. So I would say, definitely, it's definitely gonna be a big game. So I got Ohio State.
I've never been to Texas. I've been to Ohio. One thing I learned out there, people in Ohio, very nice people out there, and a very good Golden Corral. Therefore, I'm going to lock in my answer. I'm going to lock in my pick, the Ohio State. And if for those of you who don't know, I absolutely loathe Ohio State usually. Just because I feel like, you know what it is? Like, there's no little engine that could in college football. There's no Stony Brook. You know, Hofstra is not a program anymore, hasn't been for 15 years. There's
Yeah.
no team that just comes out of nowhere. I just kind of want Boise to win. I understand that their team is basically just a running back and everybody else. Now, I could be wrong on that. Like I said, I'm not exactly Kirk Herbstreit here in my analysis. I'm a very, what you'd call a casual fan with college football. But, you know, I want an underdog. Give me an underdog. Give me a little pup. And I understand that Ohio State are the pups in this one, right? I don't know. Again, I might be
I still
making a
can't believe
fool
the
of
Hawks got
myself.
rid of. I still can't believe they got rid of the. I still can't believe they got rid of the. I was gonna say the
Oh,
program.
Ohio State
No, Hofstra.
is favored by 7 points. Oh, so Texas. All right, so people in Ohio, good Golden Corral, nice people, they're sweethearts. The Texas Longhorns. That's what I'm going with. Longhorn Steakhouse, baby. Don't know if you've ever been, but
No, I never been to Golden Corral yet.
no, Longhorn Steakhouse. If you haven't been, keep it that way. Golden Corral's nice though. Good shrimp.
Yeah, good trip, man. I gotta try it. I'm more of a. There's not a lot of buffet places around here.
It's really not.
There's not like there's a lot of things in New York, especially Long Island. Like there's places everywhere. There's Chick-fil-A. There's Quick Checks. There's obviously Burger King's, McDonald's, Taco Bell's, um, Wendy's. It's just so many random places. Sushi places, wing places. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
don't know about my sushi places.
Steak
Used to work at
places,
one.
steak places. I can go on forever, baby. You've been smooching whatever you want. From Home Alone 2. You know from Home Alone 2?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that movie
Yeah, I
in
can go on
a very
forever,
long
baby.
time.
I love that.
Yeah.
But anyways, but nothing in terms of Ohio. You can't go wrong with the buffets, and you can't go against Ohio State. They're Ohio State Buckeyes.
I'm going Longhorn Steakhouse, baby. Like I said, not really a fan of them, but you know it's a good place, and it's in our area. They're near each other. That's what I'm thinking of it. Have you ever been to that PDQ chicken place?
Yes, yes, I have.
Very good. I haven't been there in a long time, but very good.
It's very good.
It's right by the movie theater I go to.
What was I gonna say? But I think it's it for the college football
I
talk.
think so.
Um, there's a lot going on in the NFL. A lot of head coaching firings. Let me go over them real quick.
Yeah,
So
off with their heads.
here's a column by Judy Batista that she wrote. She gave a list of the current head coaching vacancies as of recently. The Raiders. So at number 6, she has the Raiders head coaching vacancy. They just fired Antonio Pierce after he came out and said he still has a job. He hasn't thought about it yet. Literally a day later, he gets let go. And then after that, people thought the GM was safe. Tom Telesco. Nope, he got canned too. Then coming in number 5, we got the New Orleans Saints. They let go Dennis Allen midseason. They had their interim head coach in for a little bit. Forgot his last name. But he did a good job maintaining the season for them. Except at the end, they lost. They lost to the Raiders. So they're number 5. I believe they still got their GM. The Jaguars, surprised. Well, I'm not surprised. They fired Doug Peterson. We saw that coming. But they somehow kept Trent Baalke, which is interesting to me because
Doug Peterson officially got fired.
he officially got fired, and I thought that was a good hiring a couple years ago, especially for Trevor Lawrence. It was great for his season. I don't know what happened after that. Last year
Yeah,
They were 8-3. We're gonna get to it later. I just want to give the rankings. They were 8-3, and then they collapsed, lost next six straight. My thing I'm shocked about is I don't know why Trent Baalke didn't get fired as well. He somehow got another job with the Jaguars after being the GM of the San Francisco 49ers for that time, and that didn't work out over there in San Fran. So I don't know why Shane Khan, Shad Khan thought it was a good idea to hire him. So, in my opinion, if you were going to fire Doug Peterson, you should have fired Trent Baalke as well. Start from scratch. So that I don't know. To me, that's not really an appealing spot. Number three, we got the Jets. Obviously, I think what keeps them afloat is the young stars they have, and I agree with Judy Batista when he says here, um, like the reason to like the job is to have Garrett Wilson, Reese Hall, Sauce, and Quinn Williams. People forgetting about Jermaine Johnson, who's coming back from the Achilles injury as well. Um, so who knows what that situation is going to be like? Fresh start, new GM, new head coach. That's going to be interesting. The Patriots are number two. They shockingly let go Gerard Mayo after 1 year. That's going to be interesting to see how Robert Kraft goes about it. Some people think Robert Kraft is getting exposed a little bit for his inept ownership after having Belichick and Brady for all those years. We'll see. In my opinion, I have Mike Vrabel going there, so I don't think that'd be bad hire. Um, like I said, then again, how much
Mhm.
can we blame Robert Kraft for the Patriots? And then number one, we got the Bears. She has them ranked number one. Judy Batista is the number one destination. My question is, with Ryan Poles as the GM, I don't know how that's going to last. I mean, he put together a good team.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know how I feel. I forget if I said it on here or not, but oh yeah, I did. I didn't think that Eberflus should have been fired to begin with. I
Really?
really didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, and I thought the same thing about your boy Salah. I didn't think that he should have been fired, especially mid-season. Like Eberflus, I don't know if he lost. People were saying he lost the locker room or whatever. Kind of feel like a lot of those guys might have just been divas on that team. That's
Um.
in my opinion, because the defense kept them in every single game, and then you'd hear rumblings about veterans on the offense aren't happy or whatever. It's like, you know what, Keenan Allen, you want to try catching a ball? You could put a highlight reel together with all the plays that he just gave up on this year. I saw like three in one game. So I don't know what you want me to say. Meanwhile,
yeah.
their defense was very good every single game, regardless of the opponent, even against the Lions. And by the way, he still made the right call. The offense screwed up again. Not him. They had enough time to run a play, spike it, or call a timeout and get closer yardage for Cairo Santos. So he shouldn't have been fired at all. I agree with that ranking. I don't think the GM should be in jeopardy at all. Again, look at the talent on that roster. Look at that division. I'm okay with them being number one on that ranking. The Patriots being number two, I don't like. I think there's instability at the top. Uh, but I mean, I don't know. The Jets aren't much better. The Jaguars aren't much better. I mean, none of these teams are very good teams that made these firings. I mean, maybe your safest bet is probably the Raiders. To be honest, if you're a coaching
I
candidate,
thought that
but even that's like chaos. I don't know. It seems like
it
there's
seems
always
to be.
bad news follows.
I agree with you. It seems to be a common thread with these teams in the list. Like, seems to be a common thread with the ownership. I don't know. I feel like when you look at these teams, ownership seems to be the main focal point. I mean, I don't know about the Saints situation, but Mark Davis, he hasn't done a good job over in Vegas. Um, the Saints, I don't know, they just haven't been the same since Drew Brees retired. Who would have known after the 2020 season that was really going to be the last good season for them? They haven't. Sean Payton left in 21. He retired for a little bit, and then he came back and took the Broncos job. Good for him. They made the playoffs after 8 years. I'm excited about the Broncos team, but I'm going to get into that later. Looking at the Jaguars, I don't know. I'm never impressed with Shad Khan as an owner. He just doesn't. I don't know. Something about him I'm just not impressed with. I've seen. I don't know. But then again, am I allowed to talk about my owner as well, Woody Johnson? They're not perfect, but I just question his move to keep Trent Baalke instead of firing him along with Doug Peterson. Do I think Doug Peterson deserved to get fired? Sure. The team, had a
Definitely.
bad collapse last season. Could have got fired last year, but obviously he should have stayed another year. And they just did not have a great year at all as well. They're 4-13. And my questioning is, I don't know why Trent Baalke didn't get let go as well. Because, like I said, made some really questionable free agency moves, signing, I think, Zay Jones and Christian Kirk, who are great receivers, but just the contracts he was signing them to were definitely a little interesting. I remember at the time. Um, so like I said, I don't think he should have got kept his job. He's only really credited for drafting Trevor Lawrence, which everybody was going to do. He's also the same guy that that was along with hiring Urban Meyer. And then also, the only other really good move he's made was, Brian Thomas, who's looking like a stud. So what I also don't like is that supposedly the new coach is going to go directly to Khan, not to Trent Baalke. So
What's the point? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the ownership down in Jacksonville, but like I said, who am I to talk about the Jets? But I don't know. I just don't like I don't know. Jacksonville doesn't seem attracted to me. Now, the Jaguars have had some good success, but I guess my thing is with Shad Khan and the ownership down there is that there's never stability. There's never stability, and I don't know. I feel like they go through new head coaches on the daily, just like the Jets do. But now going to the Jets, I don't think Salah should have, like you said, I agree. I don't think Salah should have got fired after midseason. I thought it was stupid. I think Woody Johnson tried to, think he was going to save the season by promoting Ulbrich to interim and then, letting go Salah, but that was just turned out to be a huge mistake.
Yeah.
The Jets' stats were not that bad before he got fired. Now you let him go. Ulbrich is doing two jobs. He's not just manning the defense, but he's in control of the whole team. It just didn't work. So that backfired completely, and that arguably ruined the season for the Jets. Who
Definitely.
knows? Who knows if the Jets would have had a better record and they would have won more close games. So, but who knows? Maybe if there's something behind closed doors we don't know about, that's why they let go of Salah. But we're never gonna know, and so I don't know. I think hopefully this is Woody Johnson learning from the season. Hopefully he takes a lot and learns to just stay away. Just let the football people do their job and stay out of it. You look at James Dolan in the Knicks. He let the football people, he let the basketball people do his job. And I'm not trying to bring basketball into it, but he let Leon Rose make the moves. Hired Tom Tibbs, who's an experienced head coach. Uh, you know, for the New York Knicks. And you look at the Knicks; they've been relevant and great for the past 5 years. Where most of the 2010s they were dysfunctional and just a mess as the Jets. So I hope Woody Johnson looks at this season and just takes a huge amount of lessons. Stay away from the football operations. Like, just stay away. Like, that's what I want. Let the football people do their jobs, trust the process, and stop getting involved. And I don't know how much is true with the Madden ratings or his son having an involvement, but I hope he looks at that and if it's true, is embarrassed. Because, he got exposed by, Diana Rossini and The Athletic, and now he has to answer to the media. And he's supposedly saying it's not true. I don't know how much, but like I said, if I'm the Jets, if I'm someone looking to come into the Jets, I just would hope that I would just not just job security, but just have control of the team. You're hiring me to do that, so why? It's like, why is Woody doing other people's jobs? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. So I don't know. I think it's still a great spot, the Jets. In my opinion, I only really think they're a year or two out. Like, if they make the right moves, they still got a lot of talent. I'm excited to see who they're going to hire. Um, Now with the Patriots, I don't think. I think last year maybe they should have. If a lot of people reporting them to hire Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I keep saying that because he's in the Ring of Honor and everything like that.
I think that'd be a great move. It's just my thing is I don't know why they didn't do that last year. That's
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. It's strange to me that the Patriots, going into the season, Robert Kraft said, I was eyeing Gerard Mayo for the last 5 years to be Bill Belichick's successor. He said that.
Right.
Maybe not verbatim, but he definitely said for the last 5 years, I had my eye on Mayo, or that was our guy. You give him 1 year? Now, Patriots fans, I've heard nothing but he's got to go. Like, he doesn't seem to know what he's doing. There are times where he was calling out players and whatnot, just doing things weird. They didn't start Drake May right away. There's chaos there. Whatever the chaos is, there's just, I don't know if it's a power vacuum. You see this a lot of times in politics and when just the world, your a job, whatever. Anytime you have established charismatic leadership leave power, there's always chaos that follows. Maybe that's how it was after getting rid of the strong kind of voice of reason that Bill Belichick was. I don't know. Regardless, they seem to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
But
clearly.
some of the people they're interviewing, Byron Leftwich apparently, some guy that was really high on who did they start last week?
They started Joe
Joe,
Milton.
yeah, Joe Milton, some guy who's really high on him. I don't, I don't know
I
what
like
they're
Joe.
gonna do. Joe
I,
Milton looked good in that
he looked
game.
great.
Don't get
I
me
liked him in
wrong,
the preseason. I liked him in the preseason before the season even started. So it shocked me when
but
the Patriots not only took Drake May, but they took him. It kind of reminds me when the Redskins slash Commanders back in the day, they took um Robert Griffin III
mhm.
and Kirk Cousins at the same time. It kind of reminds me of that situation. But Drake May, I think, has looked good. I think he had a decent rookie year.
Well,
But like I said,
yeah,
Joe
but
Milton, he looks like he can play in this league.
right, definitely. The only thing is, since they've gotten rid of Brady, they've had Mac Jones, who they anointed as being the savior.
Okay, they had Cam Newton start, then Mac Jones.
Cam Newton, right? Bailey Zappi.
Yeah,
They tried to win with Bailey Zappi. He won what, one game or something like that.
a couple, not a lot.
Now this year, you have Jacoby Brissett and you have Drake May. They throw Joe Milton into the mix. So in 4 years, six quarterbacks
That's a
that
lot.
you're
Yeah.
trying to do something with. All right, Jacoby Brissett was a stopgap guy. Fine. Five quarterbacks that you're trying to figure out what you have. Five. If Joe Milton really is the truth, and he might be, the ship sailed. If you really think that Joe Milton deserves a bigger look, then trade Drake May to the Giants or trade Drake May out. I don't know what to tell
Some
you.
some people think that starting Joe Milton that was a way for them to lose and get the number one pick, and it was the opposite. Like Joe Milton balled out,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think tanking works in the NFL the way it does in the NBA or the
and
NHL.
that's another topic we'll discuss later about the lottery because I don't want to get too much in a carousel. I
Sure.
want to stick to this.
But real quick on the coach firings and whatnot. Zach Taylor of the
Bengals.
Bengals gets kept. Obviously, they fired Lou Amarillo, the defensive coordinator, who's been there for 6 years. Really? They decided to keep him, huh? If your team starts off that slowly every single year, it's more than just the power. You know, it's who you are. So as much as I wanted them to make the playoffs and said it on here, they wanted to make the playoffs. They didn't deserve to make it. How many seasons are you going to start off playing like garbage and then turn it on late? Your luck ran out.
Right.
They're a team that should have tried to get Vrabel, but they're not spending money on T. Higgins. They didn't spend money on Boyd. They may not extend Jamar Chase. I mean, it really does. I said it at the time that I thought Joe Burrow was going to be Dan Marino 2.0. He's going to go to the championship when he's first in the league, and he's either never going to go back or never win it. Sadly, despite him being one of my favorite players in the league, I keep getting proven right. So I don't know what's going on there, but I was surprised they didn't make that move. So if we want to
Yeah.
get off the coaching stuff, we can.
But I think I don't know. That's how I feel about that coaching tree. I know there's a lot going. We definitely should get into the NFL playoff picture. One thing for sure, I don't know if you saw it today, Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles again. So now,
We can move on.
yep, yeah, yep.
The
His,
Browns should too.
I feel bad. Well, like I said, I know Stephen A. Smith said it on the air. Obviously what's going on with him, that's self-inflicted. But obviously, tearing your Achilles again, that definitely is going to hurt. So hopefully he has a good recovery, and that's all I'm saying on Deshaun Watson. I just think that's crazy, tearing it again.
Yeah,
But yeah, so that's
he's a can. His career is over. It's a shame that it happened because of injuries and whatnot, but I don't know. Didn't exactly seem like the best guy in the world either. So
yeah, like I said, like Stephen A. Smith, things for self-inflicted. But like I said, I think we all definitely could look at the trade from to Cleveland, and now it's probably going to be the worst trade in NFL history.
from an objective standpoint, no. Obviously, the Herschel Walker trade will be worse because look at everything they won. From a more abstract standpoint, I agree. It killed their cap, uh,
Draft capital,
draft capital, and a
back.
PR nightmare.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's that.
yeah. There's that. But looking at the playoff picture, I know that's gonna be for a lot of fun games going on. Also, we should have said it earlier in the beginning of the show, but what's going on in LA is crazy.
Yeah.
I hoping that everybody's praying for LA, for California, because hopefully the wildfires don't spread elsewhere. Definitely send your thoughts and prayers to LA. There's the wildfires are spreading rampant. Literally, homes are getting destroyed. People evacuating for safety. People's lives, obviously, unfortunately, obviously at stake. So they got so bad where the Vikings and the Rams game got moved to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people question why they're going to the rivals, but where else do you want them to go? I don't. That didn't even come to my head. Like
Yeah,
to
it's a
me,
neutral
when
playing
anything
field.
happens,
Same thing
yeah,
like the Super Bowl. It is what it is.
right. It's a neutral site. To me, whenever I see any relocation of anything, people always point to either Detroit or Arizona. So either way, the wildfires got so bad where the Lakers game got postponed. Um, the Vikings game had to get moved, and there was something else, but just devastating what's going on. And I know JJ Redick lost his house. They said about that. So, but obviously praying for the people in LA. Now, in terms of the Vikings Rams game, I want to have. I think that's was that Monday night. Let me look at the
Yeah,
NFL
it's the Monday night game.
playoff bracket. It's going to be interesting. I'm definitely excited for the playoffs. Unfortunately, as always. Oh nope, I don't want that. As obvious, my Jets are not in it. Neither are the Giants. That's another topic.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that.
Um, a lot
Not
of
this
interesting
year.
games this Sunday. No, this Saturday. So obviously, the first Saturday game is going to be the Chargers versus the Texans. That's going to be an interesting game. The Steelers and the Ravens play Saturday as well. Then Sunday is the triple header where you got the Broncos versus the Bills. Then you got the Packers versus the Eagles at 4:30. That's going to be on Fox. And then the game of the night, that's the Sunday night, is going to be the Commanders and the Buccaneers, who supposedly they played a lot in the playoffs before. I don't think anybody would know. And then obviously the Vikings Rams Monday night, 8 p.m. That's going to be I think the only one that's going to be on Prime Video is the Steelers Ravens game. So Dennis, what are your thoughts on the playoffs?
I'm excited. I'm excited that it's not, it's a little bit different here. I don't think going to the season, too many people had the Commanders and the Broncos making the playoffs. I'm happy. I always like seeing teams that, people didn't expect to make it. The Buccaneers at different points in the season looked dead in the water, especially after losing Chris Godwin. I just want good, fun football. I want family, fun football, Brandon. That's what I want. Uh, Now, on to what people are expecting me to say. Here are my winner picks. I got Chargers. I got Steelers. No, Ravens. But if you like to make a little bit of money. I think 9.5 is way too high.
Okay.
Broncos over Bills. I'm standing by that one. Rams and Vikings. I'm gonna go Vikings. Gonna say Commanders beating the Buccaneers and Packers over Eagles. Going a lot of might be going a lot of dogs here.
Okay.
So there's that. Now maybe I'm wrong, but
I feel
I
like
don't know.
the it's gonna be interesting. I think the Chargers are gonna win against the Texans.
Yeah,
Um,
but everybody's overwhelmingly against the Texans, right? The same thing happened last year when the Browns played them.
it's true. It's true.
So I don't
So
like that.
you never know. You never
Maybe
know.
it's a stay
So
away. Who knows?
I don't know, but I like I like what's going on with the Chargers. I think
Me
they got
too.
a good thing going with Jim Harbaugh. Who would have known he really turned that franchise around in just one season, and doing it all without Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, who left. They're just doing it with Lad McConkey, just draft picks and veterans, and they would have made Quentin Johnson look like a not a subpar Mike Williams, but like kind of fill in for that place. Uh, he's known for his butterfingers, but he's I think he's had a great year in some of the games I watched him.
I could see him. I could see them getting T. Higgins.
That'd be a great fit. That'd be actually a really good fit. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting to see, but that's a good fit. No, obviously you shouldn't sleep on the Texans. Texans, like I said, CJ Stroud. I just think they look well. I don't know. They got Joe Mixon, and they still got Nico Collins, and they're still a good team. So I wouldn't sleep on them.
I think your audio disconnected, buddy.
Would you get?
Nothing. You said that would be a good pick. I wouldn't sleep on the Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a
Okay,
good
I didn't
fit
miss out on
when I
anything.
said T. Higgins. And then you cut out.
Okay, all right. Like I said, I wouldn't sleep on the Texans. I like D'Amico
Okay.
Ryans. He's he's put together a great team. So they still have Danielle Hunter. I still think it's going to be a competitive game. So I wouldn't sleep on the Texans, but I would go with me personally. I have a feeling that I like the Chargers.
Your buddy Josh is going to the game.
Is he really?
Yeah, he was telling me about it.
Yeah, that's good. I probably see it on his story. Um, with the Steelers versus the Ravens, I like the obviously I like the Ravens. I feel like the Steelers are just on a collapse. They just haven't come back from 10-3. Um, obviously the Ravens, took advantage of the division when they had the opportunity. That's gonna be a fun game. Lamar Jackson obviously on his MVP season, along with Josh Allen, who's having another MVP season. I think they're gonna steamroll past the Steelers, and I feel like people are gonna start to question Mike Tomlin's coaching at the end of the season, but we'll see.
People keep saying that. I disagree strongly. I don't think Mike Tomlin's a bad coach at
Right.
all. Maybe it's just a change of voice. I don't know. But let's be honest, man. Going into the season, they didn't know who their quarterback was. Their wide receivers aren't exactly the best. When George Pickens that last week, I mean, my God, you want to talk about Quentin Johnson being Butterfingers? George Pickens, I don't know if it was because it was cold or what. If it's because it's cold, brother, you're playing in the AFC North. Get used to it. You're at home. But man, he was dropping everything. And a lot of them weren't exactly, circus catches.
Right.
They weren't the Drew Allen pick, you know? They were all almost all pretty catchable. So
Yeah, but we'll see. No, I like Mike. I still like Mike Tomlin. I don't think
yeah, I think he's a great coach.
it's just
Go
when
ahead, fire him. I'll put him on the Giants immediately if I
you look at
was.
Pete Carroll, what happened, like, with just nothing was going on. Just the league gets impatient. We're not winning, and it's just the same over and over again. Some people feel like they need to make a change. That's unfortunately, that's just how the league works. Yeah. Um, try like another comparison. I know they're talking about Pete Carroll. Marty Schottenheimer back in 2006. They were 14-2, but they lost in the divisional round to the Patriots at the time, and even they were 14-2, number one seed. He still got fired. I believe that's when they hired North Turner. So, the NFL is very cutthroat. So that's what that's what happens. Sean, I think same thing with Sean Payton. They're just the same, same thing. Obviously, Drew Brees retired, but it just, I guess, fell out of love with the game. He just needed to take a break. Um, but now moving on to the Bills, the Broncos game. That's gonna be a fun game. I don't know what game I'm more excited for.
I'm going Broncos.
I have a feeling. I don't know. The Broncos.
I could see an upset there, man. I I don't know. I've been high on the Broncos just about all year. I know people are saying the stats on the for road quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs. I know, but Sean Payton, he's a better coach. They got the better coach. They got the better defense.
Right.
It's a cold weather team going to a cold weather place. So that I don't know how big of a difference that's going to make. I don't know. I might even like the weapons. I mean, really, the Bills. It comes down to how much of a difference can one quarterback make? Because aside from that, I feel like they have the better player at every position. Kickers and punters not included. So we'll see. But I think Broncos. I don't know.
Yeah. No. I think it's gonna be a great matchup. The Broncos. They're a great. They're a great team. Great defense. Like I said, I like what Sean
Yeah,
done with them, and I like Bo Nix. I liked him coming out of the draft. I like what he was doing in Oregon. I remember when he was, he revitalized his career there, and he turned out to be a top 15 draft pick. And who would have known, starting him right out of the gate? I don't think a lot of people were too keen on that. But soon he found his groove, he found his rhythm, and they were able to turn it around. So obviously that's what happens when you have a great player, and that's what happens when you have good coaching. So it's definitely going to be tough, but I feel like the Bills have the edge because of Josh Allen.
yeah,
I feel like Josh Allen's going to get them through it. But it's definitely going to be a good game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos, came away with the upset, and that's going to suck. So I feel like that's going to cause more turmoil in Buffalo, which Sean McDermott, and that's people his seat's going to be hot, and people now going to start questioning Josh Allen and his career. So now this is where it gets good. This is where things get hot. So we'll see. But now moving on to the NFC. Packers versus the Eagles. That's going to be a fun game. Saquon obviously didn't get the rushing record, but this is now his first game, back. So it's going to be interesting to see how that game's going to go. Obviously, so they didn't want to give him the rushing record. Respectfully, I get it. But now these are where you need to you know prove it was worth it. Because the Eagles are a great team in my opinion. And Nick Sirianni, I don't know why, for some reason, every year his seat is hot for no reason. I don't know. I know he has done some antics where he question like his character and just him as an adult.
yeah.
But his
It's a
team
good
still
way to
plays
put
for
it.
his team still plays for him. They're still a great team. You look at the record, they're 14-3. I take him as
Yeah,
my coach. Better
I
than what I've been dealing with.
I think a lot of it is with so much talent on that roster. He's just going to be held to a higher standard, and he
Yeah.
hasn't done as much to be Kyle Shanahan. Do you know what I'm saying? Kyle Shanahan, I feel like they should be in the same tier. They have the same amount of talent on their teams. It's another coach. I wouldn't have been surprised if he got fired, but
I
that
think with
ship
Kyle
sailed.
I think no, well, they made it to the Super Bowl. I just think this year just were hampered with a lot of injuries, and then that affected them.
Right? Yeah, but I don't know. My
I
thing
see
is,
what I see
you
where you're
blew
getting at. No,
two or three Super Bowls.
I see where you're getting at. I think Kyle Shanahan is. I think he's done a little more.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying because he's been to the Super Bowl.
He's
But you look at the
also
talent on the
right.
rosters. I always kind of felt like
They didn't produce the
they're
Super
around
Bowl
the same. Yeah,
a little bit. No, you're not entirely wrong. I think Nick Sirianni could be on his way there. I think this is now where things, this is where things now get hot for the Eagles. But I don't know. I don't think Jordan Love and the Packers. I don't know what happened last game against the Bears. They got upsetted in Lambeau Field. So
I, can we stop with that? Lambo has been, the ghosts of Lambo, what are the ghosts of Lambo wearing a sheet on their head?
I
Is
guess
that the ghost? It's not,
that's what it sounds like.
oh my gosh. They've been a checkpoint for every single Super Bowl team, it feels like, for the 21st century coming out of the NFC. Everybody shows up there. Everybody pees on their lawn and marks their territory. Enough. Come on, man. Enough with the Lambeau stuff. Not you, but I'm just saying in general. Like,
Right.
yeah, but we're going into Lambeau. Those fans there. It's like, great. That's nice. The Seattle Mariner fans are raucous too. They got absolutely obliterated the first time they made the playoffs in 20 years. I mean, come on. Or hosted a playoff game. You
But
know,
yeah,
it's just, who cares?
I got the Eagles in that game. I think they're gonna
Yeah.
be out hot, and the Packers are also gonna be without Christian Watson, one of their receivers. So
Oh, that I
I
didn't
just think
know.
the Eagles, in my opinion, I just think they overpower the Packers in this matchup. In my opinion.
I don't know the Christian Watson thing, so I'm going to amend my previous statement to include Eagles over Packers.
Still gonna be a fun matchup, but I just think the way the season has gone, Saquon is he's gonna be rejuvenated. He's gonna be fresh. I can see him going ham again. Crazy to think he got two. I don't. If you would have told me he was going to get 2,000 rushing yards, sheesh. That's another topic. So I don't know. I think and hopefully it's also going to come down if Jalen Hurts is going to play because he's still been in concussion protocol.
Oh, he definitely will, right?
So if he
He
doesn't
had a
play,
week off.
then that's going to be interesting to see. That's going to be interesting. Could Tanner McKee? Could he live up to it? We'll see. But
Could he be the new Carson Wentz? Wow, nobody's asking that.
Nick
Or
Foles,
Kenny Pickett. Is Kenny Pickett out?
I think he broke his ribs.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
But I got the Eagles in that. So the Commanders and Buccaneers. That's gonna be a fun game. I don't know who to pick for
It's gonna be
this.
a
I
fun
like the
game.
Buccaneers.
I don't even remember who I picked. I picked the Commanders, right? I've been rooting for the Bucks.
I like the
Ahoy,
Buccaneers.
matey.
I like the Commanders as well. Commanders are red hot. So the Buccaneers. That's gonna be a fun game. I like Jaden Daniels. I don't know. I feel like the Buccaneers kind of struggled a little bit against the Saints last week, and I feel like the Commanders are kind of red hot. They're
Mm-hmm.
well coached by Dan Quinn. Who would have known that was a great hire from the get go, from the jump. Obviously, with the Buccaneers, like I said, Baker Mayfield having the best season of his career.
Bucker Mayfield.
Bucker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, obviously, hit my keeper. I love Bucky. So I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I think they're red hot. I like Jaden Daniels. I just think they're ready. I just like them more. They're 12-5 for a reason. I just like their roster more. I don't know. I like them better in this favor. Like going into this matchup, we feel more confident with the Commanders over the Buccaneers.
Yeah. I almost drafted Bucky Irving. Out of the draft, I almost took him because his name was Bucky and he was on the Bucks.
Not Bucky Barnes, but
Bucky
Bu-
Irving.
Bucky Irving. So
Then I decided against it the last second. I actually, you want to hear something? He was on my queue. If I had another pick, I would have taken him.
you probably would have never traded him. Well, I
I forgot who I took. I know who else was on there.
no
He's not Irish. Lad McConkey.
sounds Irish.
Irish American, but he's not. Like we went through this a couple episodes ago. With a name like that, he should be. Maybe it was on my college show. With a name like that, he should be, talking like Colin Farrell.
Right? Yeah, yeah. How you doing, lad?
Yeah,
I gotta go to Ireland. Ireland sounds like a good
me
place.
too. I
I
gotta
gotta one day.
get
One
out
day
there sometime.
we'll get that in.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
not Irish, right? You're just Italian and Colombian.
yeah, but I'd visit Ireland. I think
Oh, okay.
someone I know is in Ireland. So I don't know. It looks like it's from what I've heard. People love it. So
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good
uh,
things.
I travel. Anywhere to travel. But that's another topic. Like I said, one day Ireland. We'll get that in.
We
Now
got it.
The Vikings and the Rams game. That's gonna be an interesting game. That's a rematch of one of the Thursday night matchups that where Sam Donald he got what was I gonna say didn't get a flag that went his way. Where in the end zone it was a safety, but his head almost got ripped off by the Rams defensive lineman, and the refs did not see the face mask call, so the Rams kind of got away with that, in my opinion. Um, I like the Vikings. I think they've been great all season, so I don't see why they wouldn't. bring the same energy from the regular season into the playoffs. I'm hoping Sam Darnold's going to have a good game, and I feel like
Yeah.
they're going to be a little bit bummed out from not getting the number one seed, and the bye. But at the same time, they're 14-3 for a reason. Hopefully, Kevin O'Connell could get that team focused to against this matchup, and at least they've had some time to kind of regroup, relax, reset, and yeah, so I'm excited for the playoffs.
That one I think is going to be the best game. I was surprised they didn't make that game of the week. Oh, because ESPN had it. Okay. Right. That's how they do it. For those of you who don't know, each network preseason they pick what they want. So they wanted the AFC West, the NFC West champion, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm excited. I'm
That's gonna be
excited.
a great game. Wow. All right. Can't wait.
I would talk more, but I know we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else before we wrap up?
Is Pete Alonso going to be a Met?
I
Yes
feel
or
like
no?
I'm gonna say yes because the Mets are staying firm. Supposedly no other team has made him
Yeah.
any
Any
other
interest?
offers. So Scott Boras offered the Mets a 3-year deal, supposedly with plenty of opt-outs. I don't know. I think that's some people saying that's the deal the Mets were waiting for. Alonso's obviously not going to get the deal that he wants. I think Alonso's going to realize like, hey, let me take what I can get. Spring training's around the corner. Let me take what's on the table before it's time. That's if I'm him, that's what I do.
Yeah. I
Um,
saw that deal. That deal is like, I mean, I was surprised the Blue Jays weren't in on him. DH Vlad Guerrero put Pete at first. I don't know. All right. I guess that does it, right?
yeah. Um, Thank you everybody for tuning in to Sports Shack. My name is Brandon Talley, along with Dennis Tui. Thank you everybody, and hope you guys have a great weekend.